All right, we're back. Month 12, the holiday season. We're celebrating. We're giving out gift bags. Your ticket price is totally covered in the package of things in that gift bag. It's absolutely amazing how many people sent options for the gift bag. Honestly, we are here for Think and Link. If you don't know, this is a monthly event that we put on here at the RSP building, an absolutely beautiful, stunning building that used to be a brewery. I refer to it as the Castle to Beer, because if you drove up and you saw the turrets, Capsule, of course, in that castle is up on a turret that way. And Capsule is a special projects agency. We're here in Minneapolis and all over the world, I guess, and clients out of the US doing work for currently Quick Trip, let's see, a variety of other ones, a balloon company here locally, I can't mention, a Finnish technology company. Anyway, and then a lot of past clients in the area of Arc'teryx and Patagonia and others. So, and we gather together here to talk about design, marketing, entrepreneurship, all kinds of other wonderful stuff. And we have two absolutely amazing guests on the stage. But before I get into Michele and Franco, I need to mention our sponsors, because not only do we have sponsors normally, RSP Architects, the building, and the architects that have designed this, but also Lake One. They're a HubSpot implementation partner, and they're owned by a wonderful founder. He's an incredible human being, but he's incredibly shy, so he never shows up except for once. So after every show I do this, everybody's got to link in with him. The founder of Lake One, just look up Lake One, and you'll find him. He's a wonderful human being, and he'll love to link in with you. Anyway, and then gift bags. We have a wonderful gift from Face Foundrie here. We have Cook's Belcourt, Peace Coffee, Isidore Nuts, Verse Chocolate, High Bar, Caribou Coffee, and Pacha Soap of all provide, and Purus Protein, pea protein. I know it's going to be the first time you're like, pea protein, what on earth is that? You'll find out it's a hot new thing. It's cool. Yeah. And then, of course, we always have my co-host. I'm Aaron Keller from Capsule, founder of Capsule. My co-host here, Kitty Hart. She's going to introduce herself, and then we'll get right into it.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Capsule. My name is Kitty Hart. I am a longtime friend of Capsule. I am the owner of Good Glam. I am the owner of Heart Matters, which is my new venture. So thank you so much for having me here, as always, Aaron. This is going to be another really great conversations with a couple of amazing entrepreneurs and founders. We love founder stories. So Franco, welcome. We've only been able to see each other on a small screen. So I'm waving at you down here. Can you see us well?
Oh, yeah,
and you can you hear us?
Perfectly. Thanks for having me.
Okay. All right. And Michele, so I would just like to know, a raise of hands, how many of you have been in an Eataly experience? Oh, a lot. Wonderful. Okay. How about Face Foundrie? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Well, we love talking about brand experiences. We love talking about experiences that move people in some way, and both Eataly and Face Foundrie are that way. So let's start off with a little bit of background. Franco, welcome. Let's go ahead and start with you. Can you just share with our audience a little bit about your background, how you developed Eataly, and we can start to touch on also what you're doing now.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I wish I could be there with all of you. So I'm, as you can see, in New York. I will say Italy has been and is still a very successful business model based on brand and the way that we have been trying, and the Italy new management has been trying to respect the Italian food all over the world. But my background, basically, I'm a guy born and raised in a small town in Piedmont, North Italy. And when I was almost 12 years old, I moved to Milan, and Milan helped me to expand my view. And I remember there was my grandfather at the time told me, Franco, learn something in your life and go to the world to develop these ideas. and that has been my life. So basically, I really like being kind of guy who can help companies building bridges between the cultures. And I love food, I love hospitality, so it's been my life for the last, at least, I would say 20 years. And I really like to play this kind of role to help business model to be successful in United States of America and vice versa. So I spent last 3 years working for a big corporation in United States of America based in Iowa. And we made 14 different investments in hospitality, soccer, wine in Europe. So that kind of bridge, that's something that I really like. And I got the privilege to be one of the partners of Eataly, being with Eataly since the day zero. So, it's been a fantastic story, especially when we open New York City, that it's overperforming quarter per quarter. So that's me.
The Eataly experience is so incredible. When we walked into one for the first time, I remember feeling just this curiosity of what you were going to see next. And I had never been to Italy at that point, so I didn't really know what to expect. Can you talk a little bit about, for the people here, I don't know if you could see the audience, but a lot of hands went up.
Yeah.
But for people who haven't been into an Eataly store, can you talk about what is the brand essence of that experience?
Well, I can tell you, the idea came from this very successful entrepreneur, a guy from Piedmont called Oscar Farinetti, and the Farinetti family is the family who founded Eataly, and we got lucky to be in the same region at the same moment, and there were at least almost 30 partners. We came up with the business model that you can see right now all over the world in 23 different countries. But the idea was to change the way that the Italians distribute the Italian food. Usually has been always kind of, let me say, very easy distribution model, like, okay, we have good products, traditional product, Italian products, and we're going to sell the product to a distributor, and we're going to help the distributor to be successful in another country. So Eataly changed completely the way, start creating the experience for the final customers. That has been the big change in our culture. Never happened before. We have several retail chain more successful in our country than Italy, but nobody decide at some point, okay, let's go to Tokyo, let's go to New York, let's go to London and open a business model completely different over there. So that's the genius that came up with these partners. And the idea was really to create a show, an experience for the final customers to understand the Italian culture thanks to the food. And the business model was basically 3 different revenue streams. The first one was the market. So basically you can buy the product that you can see on the shelf. The same product will be at the restaurant. So you can have the experience and taste the same product. And there was the academy, kind of school. So the third revenue stream, especially in the United States of America at the time, was developing kind of skills for the Americans to understand really the Italian culture, starting from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m., some kind of 1 hour session with the chef, wine tasting, cheese tasting, and this has been very successful. Yeah.
Beautiful experience. All right, Michele, tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I grew up in a family business going way back. Learned a lot that was in the construction business. So we would build in-ground pools in the summer and then fix up rental properties in the winter. So I think that's where a lot of my entrepreneurial spirit really started. And from there, I ended up being an apparel design major at St. Kate's and St. Thomas. And I absolutely loved it. I started a company called Primp out of school, and actually tomorrow marks the 6-year anniversary of me selling Primp. So from there, I kind of jumped all in. I sold my shares of Primp at 10:30 a.m. December 14th, 2018. And at 10:35 a.m., I signed the lease for what would be the first Face Foundrie in the Galleria. And we are a focused facial bar for those of you that have been. I appreciate that. And those of you that haven't, hopefully we'll get you in.
Yeah, you'll be going soon, I'm sure, after this. Right. Yeah, everybody will. Men and women.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if you can, please talk a little bit about the experience that you've created there, because it is very distinctive in itself. It's very special. It's very luxury. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Kitty. The idea behind Face Foundrie is that we're trying to break down the intimidation when you think of a facial. At least for me, when I initially got into this, I really wanted to make it approachable, not only in a aesthetic and in a space, but really also approachable in a price point, because you say it's a luxury experience, and that is our goal. I want it to feel super high end, but the price point isn't super high end. It's very approachable. It's very friendly. And so that was something I wanted to surprise and delight our clients in stepping in. You assume it's going to be super high end, and you're almost pleasantly surprised when you get to the checkout. It is an open air concept, and we coined the term focused facial bar, which is something kind of unexpected. And when you walk in, it's very much that. It's open concept. You are getting facials around peers, so you're not getting undressed. It's not your typical high-end spa.
When I experienced it, well, when I saw it the first time, I was, what's the restaurant next door to it in the Galleria?
Cove.
Cove. Okay, so I was waiting for our reservation or something, and I looked in, and you see, so as Michelle said, it's open concept. So when you're in having your facial, you're laying down, and really all you see when you look down the narrow,
Yes, feet.
right? You see feet. You see everyone's legs, sticking out this way. And I just remember thinking, well, that's interesting.
If we want to dive into design, I can tell you how many times I had to frost different parts of the window. And finally I was like, no, people want privacy. Let's frost it all.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was version 1.0. Now we're on version 53.0. And trust me, it's gotten better.
That's wonderful. Okay, so Aaron shared with me that I think you guys had a conversation. Franco, this question is for you. Talk a little bit about your current venture and what we've read as, here's what you call it, gastronomic globetrotters. Have we ever heard that before?
It was a first for me. Yeah. The gastronomical globetrotters, I had to see more. I had to hear more about your new venture and what you're working on, bringing new food from all over the world. Tell us more about that, Franco, this next venture. You might be on mute. Well, we can go to Michelle while we work that out. Technical difficulties.
I
Oh, we go.
I don't know what happened to my microphone. Sorry about that. Yes, but well,
Yeah.
basically, what I see, I mentioned before, I spent my last 3 years being more like a chief investment officer in this big corporation based in Iowa, and gave me some skills to manage different, business models across logistics, retail, and real estate. So now I'm back in New York, and I really like. I have a big goal in my life. So I wanna to help this culture and this country. So I'm proud that I got my American citizenship first. So now I have the double citizenship and the double passport, and I really see like a personal goal, the opportunity to make some changes in the way that America experiences with food. And that means that there are rooms to make some improvements in the schools, in some kind of business model, like for sure food service and retail in United States of America. So I want to try to get the best that I can find all over the world and take the best ingredients to United States of America. Because I really think that at the end of the day, we can talk a lot about the product, the brand, and whatever, but probably we are in a moment in our society that we really need to take a step forward to make an impact. And to be very clear, I probably would say that the most important ingredient in the kitchen, it's probably the mindset of the chef and the mindset of the person that is going to cook for you. So that's my goal. So I'm partner and CEO of this company called Longino and Cardenal, and we have been operating. We are a public company, so we are listed at the Milan Stock Exchange, our parent company, and we have operations in Hong Kong, Dubai, and New York. So our goal is really to find scouting the best culinary experience all over the world and take some ingredients and cultures and bring the cultures to the United States of America and help star Michelin restaurant, hospitality group, schools, people that they want to experience food in a different way to be engaged and involved in these changes.
I love that. When we were originally engaging about this, it felt like it was like the best designed foods from all over the world. And you're going to pluck those and make this part of an experience here in the US, which is really fascinating. I'm excited to see that come to life in more forms for sure. Question back for Michele on challenges as it relates to scale. So you mentioned that was 1.0 version. You're at 32 or 54.0 version. What are some of the things you've run into when it comes to scaling, especially this experiential kind of business?
You're kind of handed the space and you have to work around that space if you want to be in a certain location. So for us, we've worked with 1,200 square feet, or our Cherry Creek store, it's 2,600. And I think it's been really fun, but also a challenge, making sure you get the experience for the client. You've got to have a certain area where they can decompress. We have to make sure, our certain standards for the Board of Cosmetology is met, especially in the service area. So I think it's more, every site is different. And the way we view our sites, it's sisters, not twins, which is not common in a franchising model. So typically, if you think of, your franchise, I'll just pick on McDonald's. You go in and they are pretty much all the same. They're all standardized. For us, we are taking the space that we are handed and we are really working with some of the intricacies and I would say some of the design characteristics that are specific to a certain area. So Charleston or Charlotte, we try to keep it very much representative of that community. And I think that's something that from a franchising standpoint isn't super common.
Yeah, it seems like that. A little bit more accustomed to the area, to the region. How many, just so we're clear, how many sisters are there now in the?
Lots of sisters. We have 53 open, 8 of which are corporate locations, and then the rest are franchise. So we just opened last Saturday our first California unit in San Francisco. We're very excited about that. Thank you.
And on sisters, just so we're clear, my sister wants Montana. We've talked about this already.
She's got it. We got to chat.
Montana, yeah. As long as I say, back to you, Kitty. Sorry.
Well, and there's a new venture, right? So what is the relationship? So if those are the sisters, what is this? What is the new concept?
Cousin? Are we going to break it down? Family matters. So We have, just to kind of give you a broader scope, we have an aesthetic school as well. So that's really kind of the starter place. We've got a lot of estheticians or aspiring estheticians that want to step in and either own their own business or work at Face Foundrie or work at what I would call our older sister or cousin, which is Lasery. And that is more of a med spa concept, but again, breaking down those barriers in a price point. So layered lasers, cosmetic injectables, definitely. It's more of a moody vibe though. It's the first time I've used color in a concept. So bear with me. I'm learning. It's my like moody baby. And yeah, it's been so fun. And having that, really, it came from customer feedback. I want to be able to go somewhere where I can get more advanced treatments that we weren't able to offer at Face Foundrie. So
Very
exciting.
cool. Kitty's very excited about this. Should we go back to Franco with something about, well, I'm curious about design. And not everyone knows this, but Franco's been on this series before, back in the middle of the pandemic. He was, I don't know if it was like 6 months after the pandemic or something. And you had this look of like someone had been run over by a pickup truck a couple of times because it was a tough time period to have Eataly go through that shutdown and, you know, all the challenges with that. But you've always had design in your conversation. That's why we had you on the first time. And give me more about the design of this, of Eataly, and a little bit more on the philosophy. And then also just on the new venture, what role design plays.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I would say we really like